Hello again. So now we will talk about comparing characters, comparing strings, but with greater or less than uh, operators. So here you have a quite thorough description of these concepts. Basically, what happens in Python, uh, each and actually in almost every other programming language, is that each character deep inside has a specific number assigned to it. This number is in different number system than the system you know from your usual life. It's actually an interesting topic. You will definitely, if you will dive more deeply into programming, you will definitely learn about it much more. But for now, I don't think you have to worry about this so much. You don't have to understand it in much detail. The only thing you have to remember is that for various characters there is a number assigned, and since for different characters it is a different number, you can compare these numbers, and if one is bigger than the other, then also this character will be bigger than the other. There are few rules of thumb you can remember, you can keep in mind. Let's jump into an inline mode. Maybe let's clear the terminal first so that you have a better view of what is going on. Let's jump into an inline mode, and let's, for instance, compare a letter A with letter B. So what happens here? We get the value true. So this is intuitive. So the thing you can remember is that letters which are at the beginning of the alphabet are usually smaller than the letters which are later on in the alphabet. Also, if you consider numbers as parts of a string, as characters, then numbers are also smaller than letters, and usually most of the characters will be most of the characters which are not letters which you use will be smaller than letters. One thing which might not be intuitive is that uppercase letters are actually smaller than lowercase letters. So you can see that even if I take a letter A and try to check if it's smaller than uppercase letter Z, if I run this code, I get the value false. So surprisingly, all uppercase letters are smaller than lowercase letters, but that's just how it works. I think it has it is so for some historical reasons. At the beginning, people were using only lowercase or uppercase letters, and then they just added later on the other kind, and since the numbers were already assigned for one type, the other type got bigger numbers, and this is the reason why it is so. But this is just one thing you can easily remember. But as I said, you don't even have to remember even those rules. It's not necessary that you remember them. You can always open Python in inline mode and check if how it works. You can search the net and check out the resources, some other resources, and here I just wanted to finish with an example where we create a range of numbers. So this shows you that if I take a number, maybe I will open inline mode again. If I take a number and I will use a built-in function which states for shorter for character, and try to convert, for instance, number 40 into a character, I get a specific character. So in this case, it's a bracket. If I take, for instance, 78, it's converted into an uppercase letter, capital letter N. So and here in this example here, we basically go through a for loop which goes through a range of numbers which create most commonly used characters in everyday language. So you can see that the characters which will be considered by Python as smaller will be printed first, and the characters which are considered bigger will be printed out later. So let's check out what result we will get if we run this script. We should get all of the interesting characters, and as you can see, we get a very long list with characters. First one is a hashtag. This has the smallest connected number to it. Then we have some other signs which you might know: $, backslash. Then when we are when we are finished with different character signs, then we have numbers. Then we have some other characters, so these are bigger than numbers. And then we start with letters. We first have uppercase letters. So as we said, we first have uppercase letters, and then we start with smaller case letters. For some reason, they are in between. We have some more characters, and so on and so on. And then after we are finished with lowercase letters, we again have some characters. Of course, there are some characters which have some other ASCII number which are less known to you for some specific language or for some specific purposes. But most of the ones you will use in your everyday language or in your everyday life, or even as a programmer, are here. And just to repeat myself even one more time, you don't have to remember these ASCII numbers. You don't even have to remember that, I don't know, curly bracket is bigger than small letters. You can just remember that, for instance, small letters are bigger than lowercase letters are smaller than lowercase letters are bigger than uppercase letters. As you can see, I even have a problem pronouncing this, but just general rules you can keep in mind. The rest, simply just open Python, open inline mode, and check. Okay, one final thing you should know is that you can compare also longer strings than strings with just one character. And what Python will do, it will just compare the first letter. So it doesn't matter what is in this string further on. If my first letter is B and then something something something, then this string will be then I will get, in this case, value true because A is smaller than B. If I take exactly the same code but use something which is smaller than lowercase a, so for instance some uppercase letter, and check now, then I get false. So it doesn't matter what is later on in the string, only the first two letters count, and only they are compared. And this is how Python compares entire strings which are of length greater than 1. And we can finally check what happens if we use an empty string. Empty string should be smaller than anything else because it's like nothing, so nothing should be always smaller than something. So I'm not even 100% sure. Maybe there is some very sophisticated scenario when this is not smaller than something else, but I think it's like this. But as you can see, even I don't know this. I would, if for some reason I would need that information, I would just search the net and check it. It's not that you have to remember stuff like this through your entire life. Okay, so that summarizes ASCII characters. I hope you got a better understanding what they are and how you can use them in Python. Thank you for your attention, and see you in the next videos.